Green?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's see. California is a two-party state, so if you don't want to be recorded, scram out of here. Sounds like I might have to go a little faster than usual since I blew 13 minutes with my computer waking up. But life goes on. So the topic today for Valentine's Day is why we love losing tricks now so we can win more later. And the reason behind that is we love taking tricks. So let's see if I can get to the next slide. There we go. So I wanted to take just a moment to talk about what's coming next. Who would have thought that Tom Hanks would become a star after that movie, but he did. Next week, we're going to finish the kind of fun random 8 weeks that we've been doing. And then on the 28th, we'll start our full 24-week curriculum cycle. And the first 9 weeks, actually 11 weeks, will really all be on card play, because card play is so hugely important and everybody wants to talk about bidding because it's easy to talk about. Having said that, we'll look at basic bidding. Those of you who've been with Planet Hool for a while have seen a lot of this, and then we'll add some more bidding. And at that point, we'll be up to a pretty solid foundation. So I did want to take a brief sidetrack. We're going to discuss bidding in detail in a few weeks, as we just saw on the schedule. But at times before that, we will mention some bidding topics. And don't worry about them. If they're familiar, they'll help reinforce. And if it's new to you, don't worry about it. But I did want to return to one hand from last time that caused some confusion. And it was supposed to be just a quick throwaway thing, but then those are the ones that make me realize we should spend a minute on it. So bidding is a conversation. And what we want to do is describe our hand to partner and listen to partner. And a comment somebody made last week was, if you have support, you should support. And I agree. But sometimes you want a slightly longer conversation. And that there was a hand last week that led to some confusion. So I wanted to show two kind of quick examples. Suppose partner opens one heart and you have one of these hands. Well, hand one, we've got 9 high card points. We don't have any shortness to help partner, but we do have 3 cards in partner's heart suit. So we'll go ahead and we'll support partner. We'll count up 9 high card points, and nothing for shortness is 9 support points. And we bid 2 hearts, which is simply saying, partner, in English, I have 3 hearts or more and 6 to 10 support points. But the hand that caused confusion last week, I think, looked a lot more like this. So partner opens a heart and you're looking at this hand. Wow. You've got 16 high card points. You've got a shortness point here. So you've got 17 support points. You already know we've got a fit in hearts. So you know you want to play in hearts. And you know you want to go to at least game, but maybe you want to go to slam. And in that case, you want to have a more gentle conversation. You don't want to just jump up to 4 hearts or something. You just start real gently by bidding a spade. And you wait and see what happens. And if partner says something minimal, then minimal plus 17, you'll bid 4 hearts and you'll make it. But if opener does something more exciting, you would explore slam. And I think what was confusing last week was there was a hand, something like this shape. And I just said, well, you'd bid your spade suit first. And I shouldn't have had that example, but I digress. Okay, so questions about that, or should I scoot forward to taking tricks or not taking tricks?
Go forward.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about losing tricks early in order to win more later. And kind of the big theme of this is one of the things that my mom used to say was, don't shoot off your winners. And there was really something behind that. Don't shoot off your winners before you do important work like setting up more winners. And then there's also a second thing that we'll do today, and that's we'll reread number 1. So,
Hey,
I
Phil,
think, yeah,
Phil, can you hide that aqua colored notification?
I'm trying to make it go away.
Pull down the carrot. I saw there was an option.
Yes, I had tried to do that, but because my browser
went
is
away.
flipping out, yeah. Yep.
Anyway,
Nice work.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
dragged it away and now I'm trying to close it again and I'm sure it's gonna make my browser flip out, but I digress.
Oh,
I'm
So,
patient
Bill?
in my old age. So we've actually looked at this hand before. Let's imagine we're playing 3-no trump by South. And when we're in a no trump contract, we count
Winners.
winners. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I count 7 winners off the top. And
Can you do
what's
that
going to
again?
happen if I take those 7 winners? They're going to take the rest of the tricks,
right.
right? Unless we're super lucky and the queen or clubs falls under the ace king, we've now left ourselves wide open in every suit. And they're going to take the rest of the tricks. Well, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is count the tricks we can take immediately, which was 7, and then say, how many more do we need? And the answer is 2. And then ask, where can we get them? And wow, this club suit sure looks exciting.
It's not.
So if we take the ace king of clubs, and we'll do this on the next slide, if we take the ace king of clubs, yeah, they've still got the queen. But let's go over to dummy, play the jack, make them take the queen. And now our 10 is good. And there's a trick. And probably the clubs go 4-3. Or, I'm sorry. Yeah, they probably go, they have 6 of them. They probably go 4-2. And we're able to take a total of 4 club tricks and we make our bid. So kind of what I just said, we can take 7 immediate tricks. We need 2 more. The club suit looks good. It probably splits 3-3 or 4-2. And we can cover the first 4 rounds with the ace, king, jack, 10. So all we'll lose is the queen. So we lose the queen and that builds 2 more tricks. So I think we've played this hand before. So questions about that? So the important thing is you can establish long tricks in a suit and it's okay to give up tricks early so that we can take them later.
I do have a question, Phil. So
Yes.
when you say you cash the ace and the king,
Yep.
would you do those first and then you go to the jack?
Yeah, because if I play the jack, I'll have to play the ace or the king on top of it, right?
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah. So some people, I think I use the word clearing the ace and the king in my head when I'm talking to myself. It's like, I got to clear the ace and the king so that I can then go play the jack. And, you know, you sometimes hear people say high from the short side, like if you have ace doubleton, and then you've got 5 in dummy to the king, queen, you play the ace first and then go over with the little one. And I think of that as clearing the ace or getting it out of the way. So, and one of my favorite topics, of course, is position. And if the opening lead had been the 2 of diamonds, we'd play small from dummy. And that would guarantee us a diamond trick. Because if this guy plays the king, now our queen's good. And if guy doesn't play the king, we take our queen. So I keep thinking positional value. So I've got a few different examples, kind of classic examples of giving up a trick now. And these are mostly hands that we've played before. So contract is 3-no by South and the opening lead's a heart. What do we do? Count winners. It's a no trump contract. We count winners and we see how many more we need. So I'm counting 1 in spades. The hearts get us 2, 3. We have no immediate winners in clubs. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, and the diamonds bring us up to 4, 5. Where else can we look for tricks?
Clubs.
Clubs, absolutely. We knock out the ace of clubs, that'll give us 3 more tricks. So that gets us well on our way. So the way I would look at this hand is count the tricks I can take immediately. I can take a spade, 2 hearts, and 2 diamonds. That's 5. And then we ask ourselves our musical question in no trump, where can we find more tricks? We can establish or promote or set up honor cards. We can establish long suits, and we can take finesses. And in this case, if we knock out the ace of clubs, we immediately create 3 club tricks. So again, the theme is lose this trick early so that you can take more later. And in no trump, you're always losing control while you still have control of everything else, so that they can't run a suit on you. So that's why it's so important to do it early. We don't have any long suits here, and we got up to 8 tricks. I think our only hope is cross our fingers and try the spade finesse.
Mhm.
And if we lead toward dummy and we're lucky and the king is over here, then the queen will become our 9th trick. And if the king is over here and we go down, kitchen table bridge, we go dang it. And in duplicate, we say, well, happened to everybody else. So here's a fun one. Contract is 3-0 by South. So how many immediate winners do we have?
8.
6.
We got the ace king in every suit, 2, 4,
Yes.
6, 8. Where do we think we could get more tricks?
Clubs.
It's gonna have to be clubs.
How many clubs do the bad guys have?
5.
5. How are they likely to split?
3-2.
3-2.
3-2.
So what's going to happen if we go take the ace and then the king?
They can run the rest of them.
On the 3rd round, they will win. Are we ever going to get back to dummy?
No.
No.
Oh, no.
So here's the problem. We have 8 winners. We want to take long clubs. It's reasonable to assume they're 3-2. And the problem is, if we take the ace king, they win the 3rd round and we never get back to dummy.
Right.
So the theme of today is let's lose tricks early so we can win more later. Any ideas?
Play clubs.
Play a low club to a low club.
Let's play a low club from our hand and also play a low club from dummy. Let's lose our club trick. We know we have to lose one. Let's lose it early. So we'll lead a low club from our hand and we'll play low from dummy and let them win the first club trick, not the 3rd one. Then we get back in, we go over to dummy, and in 2 more rounds of clubs, their clubs are all gone. And we'll take 5 club tricks, and 2, 4, 6, we'll take 11 tricks. Isn't that cool? It's totally cool.
Hello.
I can hardly hear.
Wait, give me a minute.
See if I can turn it up a little bit.
No, okay.
Novaskova, can you mute
I just
yourself in
took care of
Zoom?
it. I just took care of it.
Okay, thanks.
So, and bonus points for anybody who thought, aha, this is actually an entry problem. We don't have enough entries to dummy. And you look at this on the screen and you think, oh, this is just BS. This is some bridge teacher in some book who came up with some really, sneaky situation. This actually happens not infrequently. Dana and I have had 2 consecutive horrible sessions of bridge, but I digress. In one of those sessions, one of the few good scores we got on a hand was basically exactly like this for the bad guys. And if they had lost a club trick early, then they could have taken the rest of the clubs. But they played the ace king and then let us in, and they could never get back to dummy. It was a different suit and slightly different. I think it was 5 opposite 3 or something, but it was the same theme. This does happen. And it's like totally cool.
The other thing I was thinking about too is when you're losing your clubs, if one of your opponents shows that they're out of clubs, then you can detect very early that one of your opponents has a long run of clubs are not evenly distributed.
Yep, that's true. Of course, in that case, we'd be dead because we don't have another entry. But sometimes you can do things like that and it helps you play the suit later. But yeah.
Phil-
So if you're gonna lose a club, lose the first one, and then you still have a way to get over to dummy. Yes? Question?
I was gonna ask, would you take 2 losses, then how would you get back into clubs? Because they could take it with an 8, a 9, a 10.
Yeah, yeah. So let's think about it for a sec. That's a great question. We can't afford to lose 2 club tricks because then we wouldn't have any more to get over there.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
So we have 6, 7, 8. So they have 5, and they're probably going to go 3-2. So we lead a club and we let the first round, we play small and they win it with a 9 or whatever they win it with. Now they're down to only 3 clubs because they had to play 2 of them. They're down to 3 clubs and we still have 1. So we lead over to dummy and we take the king and 2 of their clubs fall, and we take the ace and their last club falls. And then our little clubs are good.
Thank you.
Great question. Totally cool hand and real. And this is a hand that we all played and we looked at back when we were talking about planning the play of a no trump hand. And sometimes you need to be very, very patient. So this is a no trump hand. We count winners.
Oh.
I count 2 spades and 3 hearts and 3 clubs is 8. Where can I get another trick?
Diamonds.
Diamonds. We have
Diamonds.
8. So they have 5. So we're hoping the diamonds go 3-2. Okay. And if the diamonds go 3-2, our last one will be good. But they've got the ace, king, queen, jack, 10. So we just got to keep playing them. So we win this opening lead and we play a diamond. And we know we'll lose the trick. So the first diamond is gone. And then whatever they lead, we take it. And we play another diamond, knowing we'll lose it.
Wow.
And now they're down to 1 diamond. So we win whatever they lead back, and then we lead a 3rd diamond, and we lose that one. And then when we get back in, our last diamond is good for trick number 9.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Remember
we
that.
like to lose tricks early if it's going to give us tricks later. And sometimes we have to be very, very patient. For those of you who went to high school in the 60s like me, you read this book, and you now understand why the guy kept saying waiting is. It made no sense to me at the time, but now I get it.
Thanks to Bridge.
Yeah. So this hand is kind of fun. And it's just kind of fun. And we're gonna do a couple 3 things with it. So this is the first version of the hand. Again, we're playing 3 no trump and we get this jack of spades lead. So we count winners. 1, 2, 3 in spades, 4. And the ace of diamonds is 5. So we have 5 immediate winners. Where can we get more tricks?
Clubs.
Diamond.
Diamonds.
Clubs and or diamonds. Yeah, I agree.
Yes. No
Um,
diamond.
Is there so we need 4 tricks. Is there anywhere that we can be 100% certain about getting 4 tricks?
You get 2 tricks in diamonds. You play
Yeah.
the 10 of diamonds to
Is-
something other than the ace, and the king is gonna come out, now make your jack and
Yeah,
queen good.
but let's look at the club suit.
Yeah.
Clubs, a string of,
Yeah, if we knock out the ace of clubs, we're guaranteed to get 4
Mhm.
immediate winners.
Right.
So we had 3, 4, 5 winners. And if we attack clubs and knock out the ace, we're absolutely guaranteed to get 4 more tricks.
Yep.
And when we get back in, of course, as Ted suggested, we'll try the diamond finesse because we're greedy,
Why not?
right? So we're back in, just that, we're back in, we try the diamond finesse, and if it wins, we'll make 6. Question or comment?
Phil, on the club hands here, to ensure that the ace comes out, do you play the king first?
Doesn't matter,
Doesn't matter. Okay.
doesn't matter. You just keep banging away at them. I'd
Okay.
lead a small one to the 10, and then I'd play the jack, and then I'd play the queen. And if they hadn't played the ace yet, I'd overtake it with the king and continue with the 9. And
Okay.
eventually they'll take the ace.
Can I ask a question? If you played your king and they played their ace, then they've got the lead now. So how do you get back to clubs?
Okay, so they let a
Whatever.
spade, and let's say we win it with the queen, and we lead a club and they take it. Whatever they lead back, we can win,
Mhm.
right? And now all the clubs we have left are good. Unless they pull the ace out of the stack and try to play it again. So when
That's
when
why you
look
have
at-
to do it early, right? I mean, otherwise you lose your stoppers and the other suits.
Yeah, and you
would-
wanna
you would take
wanna
the
do it
spade with the
early.
queen?
Pardon me?
You would play second, you take the spade, the opening lead, you take it with a queen, second high?
It doesn't really matter. I've got the ace and the king and a little one, and they cross each other. You know, the queen is gonna cover the 2. I personally, I would probably take it in my hand just to maintain transportation and flexibility.
What happens if they lead a heart?
Ah,
Yeah, that's a tough
what
one.
happens if they lead a heart? A whole different ball game. In fact, let's get there a little more slowly.
Duck it.
Suppose you knock out the ace of clubs and they return a heart.
Duck it.
Can you afford to take the diamond finesse now?
No.
No, because if it loses, they're going to take a boatload of heart tricks.
Right.
So the way you play the hand depends on how the defense goes. Right? If they just lead another spade back, you're perfectly safe, and you run your clubs and you try the diamond finesse. But if they start on hearts, you go, uh-oh, I gotta change my plan. So let's look at the hand version 2. It's the same contract, same hands, you know, the 3 spade
Okay.
tricks and the ace of hearts and all the clubs and the ace of diamonds. But this time they lead a heart.
Duck it.
Okay, we'll duck it. And they play, that's a great idea. And they play another heart.
Yep.
Now we have to take it.
Yeah.
So now how do we look at this? What's going to happen if we give up a club?
And go back to hearts.
Go to back to hearts.
They're going to take a bunch of hearts. If we play clubs immediately and knock out the ace of clubs, we add our 4 winners, but they'll take all these heart tricks.
5 heart tricks.
So we can't afford to do that.
5
Any other ideas?
Now let's go to the diamond finesse.
Now we try the diamonds first. The other way, we tried the clubs first because we still had stoppers and we were safe. Now our only hope is to win after 2 rounds of hearts, we win the opening lead. We have to try the diamond finesse.
Diamond finesse.
And if it loses, we go down. But if it wins, we're going to end up with, I think, probably 5 diamond tricks, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you change your tactic. Your only hope is to try the diamond finesse. And so with a different defense, you approach it a different way.
Wouldn't it also depend upon which side is dummy here? If it was for 3-note trump by north, would it be different for the diamond finesse?
Well, you know what's interesting? That's a great question. It wouldn't matter which side is declarer and which side is dummy. The important thing to think about is if I think we're used to taking finesses leading toward dummy, because that's how they always write them in the bridge books, right? It's like, okay, we'll lead the queen of diamonds and hope that this guy plays the king, and then we'll play the ace from dummy. But if south is dummy, we just do the same thing. We lead from the queen toward the ace. It's just that bridge books are usually written so south is declarer, and it's always north's hand that looks like this, and you can take finesses. But it really doesn't matter which one is declarer and which one's dummy. That was a great question. Did that answer make sense?
Yeah.
It's all about, is the king of diamonds on the proper side. So let's do a third fun thing with this hand. So same hand, 3-note trump by south, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe we can get 4 immediate, maybe we can get 4 club tricks after we knock out the ace, but not if they lead a heart. So suppose that the person who's on opening lead, suppose their hand looks like this. And it's only gone like, 1-no, 3-no or something like that in the auction. What are you going to lead with this hand?
Jack of spades.
You're going to lead the jack of spades. Then it's the normal opening lead. And it's going to let south make the contract.
Yeah.
If you make the very strange opening lead of a heart, you might set the contract. I mean, that's what you've got to love about bridge. It's just so crazy. I would lead the jack of spades 100 times out of 100, unless my partner bid hearts.
But don't you usually lead fourth from your longest and strongest suit?
Oh, that's a great question. Typically, you lead against no trump, you lead fourth from your longest and strongest. If you have a sequence of cards like this, then you want to lead the top one. That's usually the agreement with partner, is if you have a long sequence like this, you lead the top one.
Does
I
it
know it's
matter
a
how
little
many
hard
you
to
have,
think
Phil?
about. Go ahead.
Does it matter how many you have?
Against a suit contract, you should have at least 2 touching honors. Against a no trump contract, you should have at least 3 to be safer, because they're likely to have honors in it. So, but this would be for me an easy choice of the jack of spades. I know it's hard sometimes to kind of look at what's on the screen and imagine it was something different. Let's imagine for just a minute that this king of spades was the 5. And the king was over here in this hand. Now, if you lead the jack, your partner's sitting there with the king. And if dummy plays small, partner will play small. And if dummy plays the queen, partner will kill it with the king and force out the ace. And now the defense has done the thing about losing tricks early to set up tricks later. But if you led the 8 and they played small from dummy, partner wouldn't know what to do. Partner wouldn't know whether to play the king or not. So when we have a sequence, we love to lead from the top of a sequence. But great question.
Phil,
Yes.
I've tried to be quiet, but there's
Oh,
something,
nonsense.
but there's something called etiquette. And whoever has sinus problems, please mute yourself if you're not speaking.
Oh my God, that might be me.
No, it's not you, because just when you're saying something, they sneeze or they cough, and there's no reason for them not to be muted.
Oh, Beverly, you're a sweetheart. We love you.
I'm trying to be nice.
You're doing a great job of it.
Once
Yeah,
again, you're succeeding.
Thank you.
Sometimes we give up tricks in a suit contract. Most of the examples you see are in no trump. But it's important to realize that sometimes we give up tricks in a suit contract. And I got two examples. One's pretty straightforward and one is a ton of fun. So we're sitting here, we're playing 4 spades from south. We get the opening lead to the king of diamonds. And in a suit contract, we count
Losers.
losers. We count losing tricks and ask ourselves, how can we get rid of them? So let's look from South's point of view. How many losers do we have? None in spades, because the ace is gonna cover the 3 and help us out. What about hearts? How many losers do we have in hearts?
2.
2. How many losers do we have in clubs? And we're allowed to use dummies high cards to help. But how many losers do we have in clubs?
2.
1. Once the ace gets played, you know, we've got the king queen over there. So once the ace gets played, we have 1. We're allowed to use dummies high cards to help us in the loser count. And how many losers do we have in diamonds?
1.
2.
Yeah, technically we have 2. At this point, we're pretty used to saying, oh, well, we've got plenty of trump. And so after 1 round of diamonds, we'll lose, and I can trump the last one. So technically it's 2 diamond losers, 1 club loser, and 2 heart losers. And we're gonna trump 1 of the diamonds. So we've still got 1 diamond loser, 1 club loser, and 2 heart losers. We can only afford 3, not 4. Any ideas? What happens if we just shoot off all our winners? They take 2 hearts and 2 diamonds at the end, right? Well, they take the ace of clubs too. Let's look at the club suit for a minute. Suppose we win this trick and we call trump and we start on clubs. What's going to happen?
The ace will be both wrong.
They'll have to play the ace. And then what's all the rest of dummies clubs will then be good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of them's gone and one of ours is gone. But now we've got 3 good club tricks in dummy.
You can't get to.
And actually we'll save our ace of spades, so we'll be in good shape. Great observation though. So we'll play a club and we'll cash our other 2 clubs and throw away the losing hearts. So we're giving up a club trick early so that we can have established winners and throw things away later.
Phil, you give it up early, but after you get trump out?
I would give it up early, but after I get trump out. Yep. So let's count the losers. From South's point of view, we have 2 heart losers, a club loser, and 2 diamond losers. If we knock out the ace of clubs, then the clubs in dummy are good and we can discard the 2 heart losers and we'll rough the diamond. But there was a great question there. Would I call trump first? Let's look at another hand. And this is totally cool. So this time we're just playing 2 hearts. I'm sorry, 2 spades. Two spades. Sorry, my bad. Two spades by South. And we get, again, the queen of diamonds opening lead. So let's count our losers from South's point of view. 3 in hearts. We've got the king queen to cover these. So there's 3 in hearts, 1 in clubs, and 1 in diamonds. So we're pretty sure we're going to make our bid, but we always want to be greedy, right? Is there anything that we can do to reduce this number of losers? It would be nice to look, there's only 2 hearts in dummy. It would be nice to trump our 3rd heart, right?
Yes.
we can ruff a heart and dummy, but we have 8 trumps. So they have 5. And they're going to break 3-2. So if we call all our trumps, how many trumps do we have left in dummy?
None.
None. And we can no longer trump our third heart. Any ideas?
Lose the heart tricks.
Lose the heart tricks right away. Absolutely. So we're going to win the ace of diamonds and we're going to lead a heart. And they'll take it. And then we'll get back in and we'll lead another heart. And they'll take it. And then when we get back in, we'll trump our very last heart. And then we'll call trumps. Isn't that cool?
Mhm.
We lose the 2 heart tricks early. The
When,
biggest
when are
asset
you
that-
losing the ace of club trick? At what point?
It doesn't matter when. That's a great question. It won't matter when. You could lose it early, you could lose it late. It's not going to make any difference. I mean, I suppose you could lead from this side to that side, hoping the ace is over here. And then you could try to get 2 club tricks and, you know, maybe throw away a diamond. But they're not going to let you get away with that. They've already started attacking diamonds. They're going to get their diamond trick. So the biggest asset, or dummy has the following assets: the ace of trump and a couple more, the king, queen of clubs, and this doubleton is an asset. But if you call trump first, this is no longer an asset, right? You have to do the hearts first so you can ruff your third heart. Isn't that cool?
Mhm.
And this is real. This is so real, you can't believe it. This happens all the time.
I have a question.
Yes.
After you clear the 2 hearts in dummy, then you have to pull your trump so they can't over trump you.
Well, let's think about the hearts for a minute. We've got 5. How many do they have?
Yeah, well, 8.
They have 8. So they're probably 4-4 or 5-3. So
Okay.
we can probably get away with trumping the third round. Excellent, excellent point. And there are rare situations like this where, because you're worried they'll over trump, you'll ruff high and then come back and hope the spades go 3-2. Great question. And in fact, on defense, if I win the ace of diamonds and immediately play a small heart, what do you think as the defender? What's my plan? I'm going to trump hearts in dummy. Why in the world would declarers start to play these little tiny hearts?
Yep.
What can you do as a defender to try to stop me from roughing the hearts?
Lead trump.
Lead trump. So sometimes on defense, you lead trump. I love this game. Okay, so here's the 10% to remember. It's okay to give up tricks early in order to win more later. Don't shoot off your winners if you have important work to do, like setting up more winners. And that last hand example was a little different. It was like you had to shoot off your losers right away. And this is most common in no trump contracts, but it can happen in a suit contract as well. So I'm sorry I was so horribly late, but luckily you guys let me go fast and we finished.